Well, hi guys, it's Darrel Rundus. I hope and pray you're doing great today. Long time no talk. As you and many other people, have been watching the news, and it's crazy out there. It's getting so wicked and so wild, and so much hatred and division. And I often wonder, why is that? Why, when iniquity abounds, does the love of many grow cold? And I got to thinking hard about it, and I realized, well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that people are buying the lies that Satan has sold them via the media or through the public school system or through friends or family or co-workers or politicians and other corporate interests and so much more. And so they really believe what they say they believe, right? They believe it's true. A lot of times people will believe Jesus never existed, and they're adamant about that. They think there's facts that back up the fact that Jesus never even existed, and yet there's more evidence to prove the life and times of Jesus than any other historical figure in all of the world. So how is it people come to that? How is it they get to be so convinced of something that just simply isn't true? And it's because they get brainwashed, they get indoctrinated. All too often, in fact, the lies that Satan sell are very subtle. It's very hard to detect that deception. In fact, more often than not, he'll wrap a lie in about 95% truth. Okay? But to give you an example of how simple, how easy it is to be brainwashed, to be led astray, to be deceived, I'm actually going to do a little experiment with you today. And I hope and pray you'll share this video with other people because it's really cool. It's going to be painless. I'm going to brainwash you, okay? It's going to be painless. It's not going to affect you for life. It's not going to hurt you in a negative way. Certainly, it's not going to cause you to sin, okay? And I'm going to unbrainwash you and tell you how I brainwashed you once I brainwashed you, okay? Are you ready? So what I'm going to do it 3 times, and maybe you'll catch on by the second or third time. I don't know. But let's just start with this story, okay? So you leave home, you turn left and jog 90 feet. Then you turn left again, you jog another 90 feet. You turn left again, jog 90 feet, then you turn left and jog 90 feet back home. When you get home, there's 2 masked men there waiting for you. Who are the masked men? And what do they want? What's their function? What are they doing? Now, if you think for a second that those 2 masked men are robbers and they're there to do harm to you, you're wrong. See, because as soon as you saw this image of a home, and I said you left home and jogged 90 feet, then turned left, then jogged 90 feet and turned left again, 90 feet, left again, 90 feet, and jogged back home, you thought of a house. But what I was really talking about is baseball. That you were at home, the home plate, and you maybe hit the ball, and you jogged 90 feet, and then you turn left and jogged another 90 feet, then you turn left and jogged another 90 feet, turn left and jogged back home. In other words, you went around the bases, you got a home run. Okay, the 2 masked men that were waiting for you, they're not robbers. That's the umpire and the catcher. So as you can see now that you're unbrainwashed, how simple it is to just, with a simple imagery, with a simple story, to be led astray. And all too often, that's what our government, that's what our media, that's what agnostics and, college professors and so many other people who have a hidden agenda are doing to you and to your friends, your family, coworkers, and neighbors. And they get so pragmatic, they get so convinced of this lie, because if I tried to convince you that it wasn't a house without having first unbrainwashed you, you would have said, no way, that was my house. You just said I left home, right? So the truth of it is so simple, so easy to be brainwashed. You have to be so careful, and you have to keep your guard up and keep praying daily that God will lead you in all wisdom, truth, and righteousness, and you'll see through the lies that Satan sells through all his minions. Now let's try it again, okay? How many animals each did Moses bring onto the ark? Now you may say, oh, he brought 2 of every kind, right? Or even 7, right? The Bible talks about 2 and 7 of certain kinds, right? But you'd be wrong, right? You could go back and forth all day long and argue, was it 2, was it 7, was it both? Was it just 2 of each kind? Was it 2 of every single animal on earth? But see, you'd be so focused on the direction that I sent you in, you'd forget that my first part of that statement was, how many animals each did Moses bring on the ark? Well, Moses didn't bring any animals on the ark, right? So you were deceived as soon as you heard animals and ark. You didn't even think about what name I used. It was Noah who brought the animals on the ark, not Moses, okay? So as one more example, and I hope you're catching on now, we're gonna try one more. We're gonna see if you can read through the brainwashing, okay? So let me start by just saying you're driving this bus and there's 10 people on the bus. And at the very first bus stop, 5 people get off, 5 more get on. At the next and second bus stop, 6 people get off and 12 people get on. At the third and final stop, 3 people get off, 6 people get on. What's the name of the driver of the bus? Now, you may be saying, well, Darrel, you didn't tell me the name of the driver of the bus. You just told me how many people were on the bus. But I did tell you the name of the driver on the bus. Go back and listen to what I first said. You're driving a bus. So the name of the driver is your name. It's you. You're the driver of the bus. That's the name of the driver of the bus is you. So once again, I hope by now you can see how simple it is for people to be brainwashed. And there's so many people that are so angry, so bitter, so filled with rage and just hardness in their heart that I often wonder, what's the solution? I mean, as we think about it scripturally, as we think about it biblically, why are so many people angry and bitter and hateful towards one another? Well, the Bible, I think, says it best when Jesus says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall grow cold. So there's a key there. Love. Love conquers all. Faith, hope, and love abide, but the greatest of these is love. Love never fails. You ever wonder, I see these videos all the time. In fact, my wife has a little ministry she does called A Dog's Life. You can visit her Facebook page, and she's always sharing cute, funny stories, that bring joy to people's lives of dogs. Sometimes dogs and cats and dogs interacting with people and so on. You've seen them. Everybody has. And they're cute, and they're funny, and I love them. But it made me wonder the other day, in the wake of all this anger and bitterness and division in our country today, why is it so many people love and treat their pets better than they do other people? Do you know? Do you know why? Why do people treat their pets so often better than they treat other people? Well, it's because dogs in particularly love them back like people rarely do. So, in other words, dogs, they give you unconditional love. They lick you, they cuddle with you, they snuggle, they do fun things, they play with you, and so much more. And therefore, people reciprocate that. There's just this human intuition, this nature that God has put into us that when we're loved, we want to give that love back. We want to reciprocate it. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, there are some dogs out there that are standoffish and skittish and people shy. There's dogs that'll bite the hand that feeds them. Okay. But with time, with patience, with perseverance, and a whole lot of love, those dogs too ultimately come around. And I can't help but think if people started to treat other people the way they treat their pets, perhaps we'd live in a much better world. If we learned to love others the way we love ourselves, things might just be a whole lot better. In fact, they wouldn't just be better, they'd be awesome. They'd be great. Because the simple fact of the matter is, if we would, I don't care if you're an atheist, you're an agnostic, you're, a Christian, you're Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is there's not one person I've ever spoken to of thousands upon thousands of people who, when I asked, do you agree or do you think it's a good, moral code or a good philosophy, if you will, to love others the way you'd love yourself, to treat others the way you'd want to be treated? Is that a good thing? And every single person, and I'm sure you agree, you ought to treat others the way you'd want to be treated. There's no harm, there's no shame, there's no foul in that, right? And yet all too often we don't do that. We don't give people the benefit of the doubt. We buy the lies. We get brainwashed and we think, well, that person's bad, that person's mean, that person's evil, that person's wicked, that person's wrong. I got to correct them and I got to judge them and so much more. When really, if we would just love them, if we would treat them the way our dogs treat us, and be kind and gentle and loving and spontaneous with them and so much more, man, this world would change like that, right? So quit buying all the lies that Satan sells. Quit buying the indoctrination of the government and the politicians and the mainstream media and the public schools and professors in college and so on. It's so easy to be misled. It's so easy to be deceived. I've demonstrated it for you in 3 different times. Perhaps you fell for it 3 times in a row. And I would just hope and pray that one, you'd learn to love others and treat them the way you'd want to be treated. And more importantly, most importantly, perhaps, that God would lead you in all wisdom, truth, and righteousness. And you would learn to love. Because if you learn to love, you're going to be a success. Well, no matter what it is you do, I don't care if it's business or a parent or as a kid or as a student or whatever, if you learn to love, you're going to win. You're going to succeed. You know why? Because love never fails. Don't forget that. Learn to love. Stand up and start loving somebody today. Love them the way a dog would love you if you treated them kindly and gently. Okay? Until next time, as always, this is Darrel Rundus telling you I thank God and I love you.